Hi, everybody, and welcome to our monthly Zoom interview this month. We are really pleased to have Dr. Kyle Shipman, who is the treasurer of the Indiana Veterinary Medical Association. And as you know, I'm Lisa Purius, executive director of the IVMA. Dr. Shipman is director of field operations for the Indiana State Board of Animal Health. So welcome, Dr. Shipman.
Hi, pleased to be here.
Great. Well, most everybody knows, I start these interviews with tell us your journey to veterinary medicine and tell us your story. Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. So, grew up on a beef cattle farm in southeastern Indiana, where my family still actually raises Angus cattle. So it was at that time when, we were raising our cattle that we were actually contacted by the state of Indiana because our cattle herd had been exposed to bovine tuberculosis. So our next door neighbor, the cattle herd next to us, was actually positive for bovine tuberculosis, and so we were an epidemiological link to that herd. And so it was through that process I realized that regulatory veterinary medicine was even an option. Up until that point, veterinary medicine was on my radar, but didn't realize, like the public health or the regulatory approach. And it was based off of our experiences with the state and the veterinarians that they have on staff that I really realized how the government could work for you. And I really appreciated those services being delivered to us as a producer empathetically and, really connecting with us. And I kind of really wanted to be part of an organization that can actually work with producers through the most difficult times that they will experience. And some of the best times they'll experience too. Not everything we do is doom and gloom, but we do have those that, we're catching someone on their worst day. And so being able to empathize with them as they undergo and realize those pressures they're facing, having been in that producer seat myself, I think really allows me to connect with them and understand some of the things they are going through. So that kind of drove me to veterinary medicine. That occurred so I did undergrad in animal sciences and have my BS from Purdue, and then went right into vet school where I tracked mixed animal, and then headed straight to the Indiana State Board of Animal Health, where I am today.
Great story. And I think your journey highlights the diversity of veterinary medicine, right? And that's what's so interesting to me in working with veterinarians is there's so many different aspects to the profession. And I think you sharing your story just adds another layer of what that exemplifies. So what connected you to organize veterinary medicine?
Sure. So I started in organized veterinary medicine fairly early at Purdue. So through SCAVMA, now SAVMA, I was the treasurer in that organization. Understood kind of the, with those student organizations, I had served as a treasurer of another organization prior. So at Purdue, there are quirks in running the budgetary stuff through the Purdue system that are unique. And so I understood some of that. And so I was like, hey, I'll give this a shot. Definitely thought and appreciated the role SAVMA played to be kind of like the unified voice within the student organizations at Purdue in the veterinary college, and wanted to be a part of that and serve kind of that greater good. And so it was a natural step to join IVMA right when I graduated in 2015. And that first step was into the Power of 10 program. So the Power of 10 leadership program was an awesome program to both take my next steps in my veterinary journey, where it's, you jump into the profession and it's a lot of swimming at first and continued swimming and treading water and just trying to understand the dynamics have changed so much, right? And so being that professional that you've been trained to be, now you are it, and wrapping your head around that. So, but jumped both feet in, became IVMA member, went into the Power of 10, learned some of those skill sets so that I can be more successful in what I do. And then went right into the board of directors. So this was with an older governance model where the board of directors was set by our district model, within IVMA. And so I represented the public health district to the IVMA board of directors. And so was fortunate to serve as the board of directors member for that district for 2 years, I believe. Time flies, it's kind of crazy. And then IVMA treasurer position opened up, and I decided to run for that. And here we are today in my second term now. So it's been exciting.
Yeah. So give us a little bit of an update about IVMA finances.
Absolutely. So IVMA finances are looking great. It's exciting to be able to report that. So we have gone, like I mentioned earlier, through some governance changes that kind of allowed us to take a more holistic approach and more prescriptive approach to the budgeting process. And so in 2018, as I was starting this treasurer role for the IVMA, we definitely had to make some tough decisions. The budget had seen better days, and so we kind of pulled up our boots by the bootstraps, really tightened down on our expenses, and looked at different ways that we can both increase our revenue streams, but also deliver value back to our membership. And that's a constant theme the IVMA leadership keeps in mind as we are instituting programming of any sort, is what value are we delivering back to our membership. And so with that, we had a year to two that were a little tricky. But after that, no, the finances are really looking good. We're excited for the budget, the next fiscal year's budget, to be passed by the board of directors. I think the membership is going to be excited with some of the new opportunities that we have put in place within there. And yeah, super excited to be part of this organization and help lead them, to a successful future.
Yeah, and I think you as treasurer and the board of directors, it should not be lost that during the pandemic, even our budgetary capabilities were not impacted, in that we were able to weather and sustain all of our IVMA operations during the pandemic. So I think that's hats off to a really great volunteer leadership. Which segues into my next question would be, what would you say to somebody who might be interested in volunteering? What would you say to them about getting involved?
Sure. It's worth it. To summarize, it's worth it. The experiences you gain through these volunteer opportunities, the professional network you build, is incredibly valuable. And so the first thing that's going to come to mind is time, right? We all feel like we're time crunched, especially now in, hopefully the ending parts of the pandemic, but the demand in our profession likely have not been higher in the recent past. So, we're really feeling the time crunch. One, take the time for yourself to take care of yourself, because the job can wait, but you can't. So take care of your health too. And if you do have time that you can give to your professional organization, we would definitely appreciate it. We have different models for different people. So if you want to give more of your time or less of your time, we're adaptable too. With our new government's framework, the emphasis is flexibility and burnout prevention. So we don't want to burn out our volunteer members. We understand they are volunteers. So we have set up a framework that allows for that adaptability. Excuse me. So whether it's working as a working group member and the implementation of a project that has already been thought out, or in a task force that is really the ideation and the creativity piece, or on a strike team, which is in a very cute, narrow objective that gets the job done really quickly. We have those opportunities for volunteers who are willing to serve.
Yeah, that's a great highlight of all the opportunities. And hopefully with our organizational structure, I like to think that we are pretty efficient with people's times, and we're organized and respectful of the valuable time that volunteers give to us, to the IVMA. So what fun fact would you like to share with everyone about Dr. Kyle Shipman?
So I guess one fun fact that a lot of people don't know is that I was a competitive archer for 12 years, so competed both nationally and internationally. And at my peak, was actually ranked first in the nation, second in the world for my age group and that competitive archery piece. So yeah, I know my way around a bow and arrow. I don't currently shoot; my shoulders are kind of broken from that. But yeah, I was fortunate enough to travel to a number of states in order to compete in these competitions and work with a number of corporate sponsors that I was on their shooting staff, if you will, to facilitate my travels and my equipment needs. So yeah,
Very
competitive
cool.
archer.
Very cool. Probably created a lot of great memories for you as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a definitely a unique. That was my high school sport, so it's a little different than most.
Yeah. And football or anything else, right?
Right. Yep. Yep. So yeah, it was archery. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it, and the network there was tremendous.
Great. Great. Any parting words? Anything else you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, just reiterating, I appreciate your time listening today and just understanding and asking those questions on the importance of veterinary medicine, especially here in Indiana, because it is our goal to make Indiana the best place to practice veterinary medicine. And so it's with your help that we can actually achieve that vision. So thanks for having me today. If I can be of any assistance, both in my professional role at the Board of Animal Health or as treasurer of IVMA, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kyle. If you want to reach Kyle as well, call me or email me here at the office and I'll get you in touch. Thank you so much, Dr. Shipman, and take care.
Thanks, you too, Lisa.